What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I'm just reporting that shots have officially been fired from Teddy Atlas to Abel Sanchez, and back from Abel Sanchez to Teddy Atlas. So the shots have been fired, and Teddy Atlas stated about Golovkin. He stated that he felt Golovkin was slipping in his last two fights. He felt that he was overrated to begin with. Excuse me. And he feels that Canelo will win the rematch. When Abel heard this, he stated that Teddy Atlas is overrated, and he always has been as a trainer. And, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. So him and Adelaide Bird, they know where they can go. So, that was pretty intense, and it's, if you know anything about Teddy Atlas is always an intense. Oh, yeah, Abel Sanchez calls him a feisty man, a feisty little man. So, let's get back to what Teddy says and dissect what he was talking about. He felt that Golovkin has missed some steps. Well, my opinion on that, I think that Golovkin has missed a couple steps. I think it showed a little bit in the Kell Brook fight. I know styles make fights, so Kell Brook is a difficult fighter to fight because he knows how to use the ring. You can ask Earl Spence about that. So that could have been a form of style, but he did get caught with punches. I don't know if he would have got caught with. He stated that he didn't feel Kell Brook's power, but he still got hit with some good punches, So definitely the Danny Jacobs fights, I think he slipped a step because I don't think he was the same fighter he was a couple of years before that. Now, calling him overrated, I'm not really sure about, because the problem with Golovkin is, it's always been his problem. He never got the best fights until now. That's the problem. If you can go far back when he was with Universum, it was a German boxing promotion company, they gave him the runaround. He was wanting to fight top guys at the time, which like Dmitry Pitrog. That fight fell through, and Pitrog was an undefeated fighter at the time. He couldn't get that fight because it's a promotional company of some sort. Felix Stern, another German fighter, okay? He was one of the top guys, he was robbed against Oscar De La Hoya back in the day, and but he proved his worth. He had a fight up for him. It fell through. Chris Eubank Jr., he came to America and then he wanted to fight all these particular guys, and all these fights fell through. Chris Eubank Jr., that fight fell through. I don't think that it was the middleweight division that wasn't stacked. I just think that a lot of guys avoided Golovkin at the beginning, especially 3 years ago. Nobody wanted a piece of Golovkin because he was just too dangerous and it wasn't worth the money getting knocked out for a little pay, or whatever, But he never was tested when he had the ability to be tested efficiently. That's what I feel about Golovkin. Will he beat Canelo on the next go-round? That remains to be seen, but I do know Canelo has a lot of confidence going in. Now, I will agree with Teddy on that. He does have a lot of confidence because now he's been in the ring with him and went 12 rounds. And he said he didn't feel his power. And one thing about Canelo, he has a chin. He can take a punch, as he showed you. But I don't think he really got caught with a flush shot with Golovkin. I think he got a lot of grazing blows, Not those thudding blows that Golovkin throws, you know what I'm saying? He got glazed with the punches that should have thud instead of grazed. So I think he'll have the confidence going in. But as far as Abel Sanchez's remarks about Teddy Atlas being overrated, you can coach all day long. You can preach because, Teddy Atlas is a preacher, but it's ultimately up to the fighter to do the fighting, So, I think that was just, a lash out because of the remarks that Teddy Atlas stated. You know what I mean? But But far beyond the coach's standpoint, if you really rate two of the coaches, Teddy Atlas kind of stands out. It's just that Abel Sanchez, actually, you notice he was quitting boxing. He was retiring from boxing until Golovkin wanted him to train him. So that rejuvenated Abel Sanchez. Teddy Atlas, he recently retired until he got picked up by Timothy Bradley, which he won the Brandon Rios fight by knockout, when he was training Bradley, but then he lost the decision against Manny Pacquiao, and a far more lopsided decision because Timothy Bradley was actually dropped in the third Pacquiao fight. So, I think that kind of hurt his credibility a little bit. But overall, I think Teddy Atlas, he's had some good fighters, like Junior Jones and others. And, he's done all he can do. A trainer, I think a trainer can only do so much, to elevate a guy, you know what I mean? And, well, the strength of the name of the trainer, like Freddie Roach, I think that boosts boxers' confidence to know that they're training with top guys, not necessarily something that they're doing new or different. I think it's just the reputation of the trainer, so basically, if you're like, oh man, Abel Sanchez, and you've been with another trainer for the last 3 years, and you get with Abel Sanchez, and then you start winning, it's not really Abel Sanchez, it's just your idea, your perception of how popular he is because of his reputation. So you go in there with a new sense of confidence. So you got two trainers that have, some higher standards of reputation, and they're firing shots at each other naturally, but we will see who wins the fight between Golovkin and Canelo. And this is the rematch, of course. But you know what I didn't know? I did not know that Golovkin was 35. He's going to be 36 when they fight. And I got to add this. Regardless of the trainers, I know this video is about trainers, but it's a smooth promotional pull. Think about it. Oscar De La Hoya knew what he was doing because Oscar De La Hoya was in these same predicaments and these situations as Canelo is now. That's why Canelo was able to win close decisions. That's why you didn't have a fight when he fought Lara. He won the decision like Oscar De La Hoya lost to Felix Trinidad. It was about the promotional pull and the promotional influence. Oscar De La Hoya knew not to go to 160 too fast because he got knocked out by Mr. Hardcore. That's what my father calls him. But it's Bernard Hopkins. And he knew not to do certain things at certain times. He knew to fight Julio Cesar Chavez at a later age. That's how he ended up beating him twice. And this is no different. I see the same routines that's been performed and projected in Canelo's life and career, right? So Oscar De La Hoya, big ups to him because that is clever, on his behalf. You're fighting someone 35 and then fighting them on a rematch at 36. Yeah, the odds are in your favor fighting with a 27-year-old fighter that's in his prime. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Sounds familiar there, Oscar. So just want to lay that out there to you guys because, that just kind of hit me all of a sudden. I just had to throw that in there. But you guys tell me what you think about the battle of the trainers. And this is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and you guys been counterpunched. Please subscribe. Peace.